Joining us now, live in the bus, Iowa Bus Tour, day 5, wrapping up today. Couldn't wrap up with a better guest than Congressman Randy Feenstra with us right here, ready to go. Also the leading candidate for governor. I don't care what the other people say. Like, I can read a poll, and he's ahead big. And so we're good to have him here with us. Congressman Randy Feenstra, thanks for being with us.
John, great to be on. Friday the 13th, but the sun's out, 65 degrees in Iowa. In February, 65 degrees, we take it. This is an incredible day.
This is like July in Iowa.
Absolutely.
It's like the middle of the
awesome.
summer. Last time we were here was the the caucus in 2024, and we were at the Des Moines airport. And if I knew you were at the Holiday Inn, I would have stayed there. That's where I stayed in 2020 with the Bernie Sanders campaign. But we were at the Hampton Inn, and we got snowed in, and it was minus 40, and we couldn't get. We have levelers for the bus, right? So the hydraulic system froze.
Oh, man.
That's and we couldn't get him up.
No.
And then the guy that we finally, it takes a day for to get two days for the guy to get out here. I'll never get that. He says to me and Larry, he says, "Well, didn't you guys know that hydraulic system fluid freezes if it's under minus 20?" We're like, what the hell are we in, like Antarctica? I mean, who knew that?
How would we know that?
Like minus 20. Yes, it was top of mind. So
now you're here on a perfect day.
I
Now
know,
we're here
it's
on a perfect day in Iowa.
beautiful.
Chamber of
We got-
Commerce Day.
Chamber of Commerce, absolutely.
Is it
Come on,
Chamber of Commerce
everyone.
Day?
This weather?
This type of weather, you know.
These people? This is
Chamber of
fantastic.
Commerce Day.
With the food that they bring, the portions they serve at the machine shed next door, my God, man.
And Tamara brought us Iowa breakfast pizza.
Hey, if
For you, 'cause she
I was
knew
gonna
you were
say it's
coming.
Casey's Pizza. That is Iowa's breakfast pizza.
Iowa's breakfast pizza,
That's really
and
good. So we have that, and then for dinner we always go to the local Pizza Ranch. Pizza Ranch is
I heard about the Pizza
synonymous
Ranch.
name for pizza around here.
I heard about that. But just so you know, Tamara brought pizza for you, but no pizza for Joe Mitchell. Joe, you get no pizza for you. No pizza for you, Joe. Sorry.
No, Joe.
No, Joe. No pizza for Joe. Anyway, Congressman, good to have you with us. You're running for governor. I'm going to get right to it. Number one issue that we found here in the week that Chris and I have been here, number one issue, not the economy. That's what we thought it would be. Eminent domain. And
Huge issue.
people taking farmland, this pipeline for trying to ship CO2, carbon, into South Dakota. We get it, but it's a private company, and they're putting public muscle behind it. Farmers are losing their land. They're pissed. You're running for governor. This is the
Absolutely.
number one issue that, is it not, that we've heard here?
At least from what people tell us.
Number one thing. What is your position as potentially the next governor of Iowa on this?
I tell you what. First of all, it's a constitutional thing. You've got to protect private property rights. Right? It's constitutional. We protect our property. This is my private property. I should say what's going to go in my private property. All right, you can't have a business say, hey, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to use eminent domain. We cannot use eminent domain for these sort of things, and it's got to be taken care of. And I hope the governor and the legislature gets it done very shortly. I know there's bills in the House and the Senate, but it's got to get done. And I tell you, when I'm governor, this will get done.
How will
we'll
you
get
do
it
it?
resolved. Again, we got to protect private property rights. All right, that's where it starts. Anything has got to be between the landowner and the private company if you want a pipeline to go through.
Yeah.
That being said, that's
So
that's
you
gotta
would
happen.
not, as governor, put the public pressure behind it, which is what seems to be people are saying are driving it, because they're not negotiating with just a private company who they can tell to screw off. They're dealing with eminent domain, which gets its power from the Iowa government.
Iowa Utilities Board, right?
Yeah.
So no, I mean, you got to work with the legislature and you got to get it passed. You got to have a law of the land, law of Iowa that says we're not going to use eminent domain for these type of things, right? It's very simple, but we got to get it done. It's been going on for what, 3 years now, right? We got to get it done.
Congressman in Virginia, I was in the Virginia legislature for 8 years, served with Morgan Griffith, Ben Klein,
Oh, yeah, great people.
and,
I saw Morgan
and Rob Whitman. Yeah, they were close
And we
friends.
got to keep them, by the way. I'm so scared what you got. Virginia, it's scary stuff what's happening. over there.
That gerrymandering is a real problem.
Yes, it is.
We can talk about that. But they lived the front lines of this eminent domain. So when you go back to Washington and say, okay, what'd you guys do in Virginia? And we ended up passing a constitutional amendment to deal with this back in 2013, like 12 years ago. This is a deep issue in Virginia. They lived it. They're all rural guys.
It's a deep issue here.
Oh, I know,
mean,
but
it's a fundamental
but
issue.
you can learn from
absolutely.
from them and how they dealt with it.
Ben Klein and I are very close friends.
I helped recruit him for the house.
Did you
His
really?
mother and my mother are good
He's a rock
friends.
star. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
And it hurts me to think that he might not be there.
Well, that's the power of gerrymandering.
Yeah,
That's the
you're
power
right.
of corruption.
You're right.
Well, we'll see what happens. I think it's got to go to the Virginia Supreme Court. A lower court basically waxed it, and I happen to be one of the things that think that it'll go down.
Can I
7-0.
say one thing about that? This is what happens when you get a liberal progressive like Spamberger in the governor's race, in the governorship. She is destroying your state, destroying Virginia, and that's what we can't happen here. We have Rob Sand, who is an extreme liberal, right? We do not want to become a Minnesota, Illinois, or California, right? That's what's on the line right now in this governor's race. We cannot allow that to happen. And now we see what's happening in Virginia, right? Spamberger is going to destroy that state.
So let's get to Sand. So he's your state auditor. So he has no record other than he can balance a checkbook, yay. But he goes around as a moderate, much like Spamberger did.
Yes, that's
Complete
right.
phony.
Yep.
Goes around, but he's raised a lot of money. And here's what I'm hearing. So I'm going to be very candid.
Yep.
I'm hearing the guy's a problem because he doesn't have a record. He says one thing, they think he's going to do another, but he's getting out to the 99 counties. He's going to the chambers. He's going to the Rotary clubs. He's getting out and talking to people one-on-one. And Randy Feenstra is stuck in Washington dealing with the national issues. He's not spending the time here. He's not connecting the way Sands is. And that puts you at risk. Also, Sands has got like 3 times the money. How do you answer those criticisms?
I tell you what, we're working.
Is that fair? Because that's what we've heard.
It's what you heard, but it's not reality. I mean, we're working every day from the Mississippi River to the Missouri River of getting out. I was just at the Northwest Conservative Breakfast Club in Ankeny, but it's all about getting out and listening and answering questions. We've been to virtually every pizza ranch in Iowa of taking questions from people saying, what is it going to take this state to new heights? How do we keep this state conservative and make sure it never becomes a Minnesota or Illinois? And here's the deal. We got the resources to tell people what this guy really is. I mean, he said it was an absolute mistake to lower taxes in this state. I mean, I wrote the largest tax cut in Iowa history. He said it was a mistake, right? So we're going to be aggressive. We're going to go out after him, all right? It starts here very shortly. We're going to be up on TV here in the next week or so, and then it's game on. We're going to go after this guy to make sure that we show Iowans who this guy really is. And he has not taken a stance on anything. But when we go after him, he's going to have to start taking stances on these things because we got to know where he really stands. Because we all realize that he is going to be like a Pritzker, or he's going to be like a Spamberger. Yeah. Absolutely, it's going to happen.
Spamberger. Saxman knows this. I mean, Spamberger ran around for 2 years in Virginia saying that she was a moderate and a centrist.
Yep.
And I remember your friend Griffith telling me she is one of the most radical left-wing people in the entire House of Representatives, including the squad.
And we're finding that out now.
We're finding it out.
Yep.
Right?
And Sanders going to be the same way. That's what it should scare everybody in this state. We got the state moving. We got the foundations of great conservatism here. All right, and we'll lose that if Sands gets to be governor.
You've got several candidates running against you in the Republican primary for governor. A couple of them we've met. I think Eddie Andrews was one. I think Steve just got the backing of what was it, Van Pleet, but I don't think he carries the weight he did. That's just me thinking from what I've seen. How do you win this nomination? How do you get over 35% to avoid a convention which everybody knows as soon as you hit that gavel, who the hell knows what's going to happen?
First of all, we have the vision and the resources to win, right? We have the resources and vision to beat Rob Sand. All right, that's got to be our number one focus. How do we make sure this never happens, where Rob Sand will never be as governor? You know, you can look back 10 years ago, and we had Chet Culver, and everybody said, "Oh, you know, Chet Culver never won." He did, because we didn't take it seriously. We got to take this race seriously, and that's why we're going all over the state, making sure that we tell our vision, our message, that we have to be the number one business and ag state in the country. We have to make sure we have world-class education, make sure our kids stay right here. Our number one export right now is our kids. We got to keep them here. And then finally, we have to have affordable, quality, accessible health care and stand like Charlie Kirk, that we remain civil, but we sell the truth. We say the truth. Men can't play in women's sports, that every life is important, both born and unborn. We have to make sure that we protect, obviously, what Trump is doing, which is awesome, shutting down the border, but getting our illegals to have them go back home. Right? These are the foundational points that have to happen.
What is your plan for health care for Iowans as governor?
We have to lower healthcare premiums.
How do you do that?
First of all, we have to create more competition. We have one insurance company in this state. 90% of the people that are insured here are with that one insurance
You have
company.
one company?
Yeah, one company that has 90% of the business. So they're captive. They're captive, right? We have to expand and make sure that we have capitalism, free markets in this system. Number one, we got to work with President Trump to continue to lower pharmaceutical costs. The other big issue is accessibility. Right now, these seniors are buying Advantage plans, and they go to their local clinic or they go to their local hospital, and the hospital says, we can't take that because it doesn't work here. Right? That is wrong. We have to make sure that we have plans not only from the one company that has the monopoly here, but from other companies
How would you do
around
that?
the country.
As governor, how would you do that?
You got to open the market. Right now, the market is shut, and we're protecting that one company. We have to make sure that we bring in other companies to this state to compete. Right? It's all about competition. That's how you lower rates. Also, we got to continue to look at openness in pricing.
Transparency.
Transparency. We got to have transparency in our pricing, right? Now there's so much protection of, hey, this is what it's going to cost, and you have no other way to look around it. Hey, I want to pay cash, right? You should get a 20% discount if you want to pay cash. We have to have more health savings accounts.
What did I tell you, John?
Yeah, tell Randy your whole thing.
No, we
Saxon
don't have
pays,
time for that.
Well, Saxon and his wife, he's an empty nester, paid $25,000 for health insurance so that he can't see a doctor.
No, so I don't see a doctor. I mean, I have some things I have to take care of. I'm 60.
Yeah.
You know, these things happen.
60?
60.
Yeah, you're at the worst part, right? Because the insurance is so high.
We have great systems around us, but my wife and I are really healthy people.
Yep.
And we're still paying $25,000 that we'll never get a return on.
Never get a return
Health
on.
savings accounts at our company really were welcomed by our employees. Our employees, John, said this is too good to be true. We had one employee leave our company because he thought we were trying to screw him on health savings accounts. He came back and said, you guys were telling the truth. This is the way to go. Health savings account, in my estimation, are the way to go.
But here's the thing about health savings accounts that we have to get around is that if I want to pay cash, I should be able to pay cash, but it should go toward my health savings account deductibility.
Absolutely.
Because right now they say, well, if you're going to pay cash, then it's not going to go toward your deductibility. Bull.
It should go to that.
Should go toward
if I can get a better deal than you,
That's exactly right.
I should get credit for that
Exactly.
because
the
we've
reason-
done that, and
That's
they
right.
look at you like I have 5 heads. Like, what do you mean you're paying cash? I'm like, right now, cash in a barrelhead. How much is it?
Exactly right. And health savings accounts, are in essence, are for your catastrophic insurance.
It's what it should be.
Right. Something goes bad. I have a heart attack or whatever. I have protection.
And health savings accounts drive your behavior to
right.
live more healthy.
And they do. Exactly right.
Maha.
They're great things.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fine.
They're great
legit.
things.
Let's get to the tariffs. So we have met with a bunch of farmers out here, and we got a mixed message. I have to be honest. There's some that are fearful that the tariffs are hurting soybean sales to the Chinese. Others say Chinese ain't gonna buy it anyway because they don't have enough cows or something. And then there's Argentina and Mexico. So half the farmers said, hey, tariffs have no impact. Others said it does, or they think it might, but it's not now. So it's all over the board. And then we've got the whole ethanol thing where they want to be sure that ethanol stays in gas tanks, and they're trying to tell us that it has no impact on the engine of the car. As governor, how are you going to balance that?
Well, I tell you what, I love what President Trump has done. All right, first of all, he's held countries accountable for taking advantage of us over the decades. Finally, we're creating some equality in trade, right, through tariffs. Number two is, just like every farmer, we don't want subsidies. We want open markets. So E15, we're working with that. President Trump gave a shout out when he was in Des Moines here a couple of weeks ago, saying, hey, that's an opportunity to have domestic energy. I was with Secretary Treasurer Besant on the plane, and he was talking about how China is actually now coming to the table going, hey, you guys got quality soybeans. We want to use your soybeans because Brazil has inferior soybeans. This is a true story. And so they're looking to buy more. There's a lot of countries, India, Asian countries, that are looking to buy more of our agricultural products. That's what we got to have, is more markets. We don't want handouts. We want markets. And that's what President Trump is doing. He's loves farmers, and he's going to protect the farmers. And I'm so excited what this is going to look like as we move forward. I sit on Ways and Means in the U.S. House, and we talk about this every day of how we're going to open more markets. And when I'm governor, we're going to make sure that happens.
Number one issue, if I'm an Iowan, why do I vote for Randy Feenstra for governor? What are you going to do for me and help make my life better?
I am going to make sure that we lower costs, make sure we reduce property taxes, make sure you have quality, affordable health care, making sure that we are the most business and economic state in the country. So we have great jobs, great wages, great education, and a great place to grow and raise a family. That's what I want to give and make sure it happens when I'm governor, taking the state to new heights.
Give me one thing that Governor Kim Reynolds has done that you wouldn't do, or you would undo.
I tell you what, Kim Reynolds and I are great friends.
Other than cost yourself the vice presidency by backing Ron DeSantis.
I was going to say, I would not have backed DeSantis.
It destroyed her career.
That is probably the number one thing. But
she would have been VP and right now been a leading candidate for president had she not backed DeSantis.
As the knight said in Last Crusade, she chose poorly.
It's a bad choice. Bad choice, Kim. Go ahead.
But she also dramatically has lowered taxes, and I was with her in the Iowa Senate when we wrote the largest tax cut in Iowa history. School choice. There's so many great things.
School choice in particular, game changer for the state.
Yes, but now we got to take it to new heights and even go
what's
further.
New height?
New heights. Continue to lower taxes, making sure again that we reduce regulation, create high quality jobs, creating more wages in this great state, and we can do this. Making sure we have quality education that is not DEI run, but it's run by ABCs, math, science, and history. All right, we got to teach the fundamentals. We got to get back to the
Look what
fundamentals.
Mississippi did.
Yes.
The Mississippi miracle.
Arkansas.
The fundamentals, man.
Yes.
That's what education comes down to: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Exactly. And no matter how many times you gobbledygook it up, and I was a former teacher, I made my kids read, and I made them write.
My wife was a kindergarten teacher for 25 years. My parents were both teachers, one in the private school, one in the public school. And they said, Randy, the number one thing we have to do is get rid of DEI and teach the fundamentals. Get rid of all this bureaucracy.
Put a book in their hand.
Yep.
That's it, man.
Yep.
You know one of the greatest things I thought that Kim Reynolds did ever, other than the taxes? Remember after COVID, remember when COVID wiped out high school athletics in the spring? Wiped it out. She was the only governor, I think, in the nation who said, well, here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to rob my seniors of their final season in softball, baseball, track and field. And then she got the, Iowa Education, whatever the organization is, the education department, to go for and fund their final season over the summer.
It was
Remember
incredible.
that?
I had kids in school at the time. It was incredible.
This is one of the greatest visionary things that ever been done.
Again, she understood that government went way too far, and we were one of the states that were mostly open during COVID. She did a great job.
Yeah,
in that area.
No doubt about it. Okay, so let's get the hard tax here. If you have to go to a convention, I learned this a long time ago in Virginia and other states. As soon as you hit that gavel, all hell breaks loose. You have no control over what goes on. How do you guys get over 35% to avoid that nightmare scenario for you?
It's about talking about the conservative vision that we have for our state and making sure that we're getting every person out to vote that supports Randy Feenstra. All right, this is about earning every single vote in this state. That means going to every local pizza ranch and having meet and greets where they can get to know who Randy is and they can ask me questions. That's what this is all about. It's retail politics at its great at the great level.
Okay, you want to ask Randy a question? We're going to take your calls, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. And for the criticism he's getting from some people about not getting out, he's here with us on this bus, right? Ashley's not here. We called her office, nowhere to be found. Just saying, thank you for coming. I'm just saying. Now, Randy, let's get to Congress, right? You just got out of there. DHS not funded. What are they doing?
Isn't this ridiculous? This is absolutely ridiculous. Again, putting illegals first. Again, the first shutdown was putting illegals first, saying, hey, they have to have health care. Now they're saying, wait a minute, ICE is doing things wrong. I love our president putting a line in the sand and say, hey, we'll work with you Democrats, but there's certain things that we will protect our ICE agents. That is correct. But here they're putting illegals over Americans, these Democrats, and they're shutting down government because of it. It's appalling.
And so, if you're in Congress now, are you in favor of John Thune just blowing that filibuster up?
I tell you what, I'll leave that to John Thune, but we've got to get things done. I mean, and we
Well,
did.
we're not getting it done
We got
because of the 60 vote.
Right. We got the reconciliation bill done, but we have to look in the future of saying, all right, what is this going to look like? And if the Democrats take over, will they blow the filibuster up? We don't have Manchin and
Of course
Sinema.
they will.
We don't have Manchin and Sinema anymore. So that's a grave concern,
Right.
of what this looks like. But we have passed some great things. I mean, the big, beautiful bill. I mean, that was incredible. We got that done. And I would love to see another reconciliation bill because I think we got to do more with healthcare. We got to lower healthcare costs. We can do that. We got to get rid of all this Obamacare stuff. We can do this. Again, we've shut down the border. We've created domestic energy. We just passed the American Save Act to make sure that we have voter ID in this country. Now, that's one thing that John's got to get done. He's got to get it passed.
You want to weigh in? 804-778-8888, 804-778-8888. Just so you know, for whatever reason, our 800 number is not working today. I have no idea why. We can't figure it out at this early, but we will. So Tyler, put that up in the Chiron, 804-778-8888 if you want to ask Randy a question. What has been your number one frustration in Congress, Randy?
Oh, you nailed it. Getting stuff done. I mean, here we have the majorities, right? And there's things that we can do. So many things that we can do. Now, we've done some great things. But again, like this voter ID, simple, no-brainer. It's got to get done. It's taken us now 9 months, 10 months to get it to this point.
Crazy.
This is the number one thing to me to have safe and secure elections. We did it in Iowa. When I was in the state Senate, we passed it in Iowa. We have safe and secure elections right here in Iowa. We got to have that in the rest of the country.
Do you have voter ID?
We have voter ID here. Yep.
So you can't vote here without voter ID.
That is correct.
Well, that's why you guys are winning elections, because illegals can't vote. That's basically what it
That's
is.
a no-brainer. And yet you go to get your laundry or whatever it might be, you got to show your ID, and yet you can't do it for elections.
You got to show your ID to
it's-
check
it-
into
It's appalling. And by the way,
Tavares Hotel.
I was so excited yesterday also with EPA Director Zeldin and the president saying, you know what, we're going to go back to green coal, right? Clean coal. We're going to go back to natural gas, right? We got rid of the Green New Deal, which was awesome. And now we're going back to lowering utility prices, lowering gas prices, but by doing this. I truly applaud what's happening there.
All right, telephone lines open again. Our 800 numbers down, so you have to call the local number, 804-778-8888, 804-778-8888. Let's get to Lori. Your name's Iowa, for Congressman Randy Feenstra. Lori, you're live with Randy. Go ahead.
Hey, Randy, thank you so much for taking my call. I think you've done a great job representing us out in D.C. and excited that you're running for governor. I have a young family, a boy and a girl, both are 4 years old, and they eat a lot. And as you can imagine, life is just getting more and more expensive. You know, Biden and his inflation just really raised up prices at the grocery store, at the gas pump. And I just wondered what you're going to do to make Iowa more affordable when you're governor.
That is a great question. Thank you, Lori. I have a family just like you, and we got to put food on the table. And here's the things that we got to do. We got to lower prices when it comes to the cost of groceries. And President Trump, we're working on it right now, but here in Iowa, we can do the same thing. Lower the cost of eggs, making sure that, again, the egg is the backbone to our state. So if we have better ag policies and making sure that we grow ag, we can lower some of these costs. Utilities are the same thing. Is we got to get rid of the regulatory environment in our state when it comes to utilities, so we can lower the cost of utilities. Same thing with healthcare. One of the number one costs of our families is health insurance. They're paying $25,000. We just heard it, paying $25,000 a year for health insurance. Right? We got to create competition. We got to create transparency in pricing. We got to make sure that you can pay cash for some of these, for some of the things that you go in for. These are all the key components in a family's budget that we need to lower, and that's what I want to do when we're governor. It's got to be one of our top priorities of putting more money in people's pockets. And then finally, it's on the reverse side too, of where you have a quality job that with great wages, right? When you have great wages, you can also do some of these other things to put more money in our economic system. It all goes together.
Are the illegals that are here illegally in Iowa? You guys have solved that problem. One of the things I learned early here is that you need migrants, obviously, for the farms. So you need that seasonal labor.
H-1B program works.
Right, and you guys fixed that. So you had a legal migrant influx of people to get the labor when they needed it.
Yep.
Your farmers paid them a good wage,
Yep.
and then they either went back with some money in their pocket, or they were able to find a way to stay here legally. And that system in Iowa has been very successful. Why can't we copy that everywhere?
We have to, and it's about sponsorships. All right, H-21B program, even H-21A that works in manufacturing and even healthcare. Right, if you have hospitals, manufacturers, farms that say, hey, we want to sponsor 3 or 4 workers, or 5 or 10, whatever. All right, we'll sponsor them, and then they can come in under the light of day and do it correctly. Right. What scares me is what happened, and it was Sarah Root. Sarah Root was killed by an illegal drunk driver. The first bill that President Trump signed, the Lake and Riley Act, had the Sarah Root law in it that said we will fully prosecute to the extent of the law. We'll hold them accountable if an illegal kills one of our citizens. Right? And we got that passed. That was my bill that he signed. I was so proud of that. And you know what? We're going to have Sarah Root's dad at the State of the Union address. He was at the White House when the bill was signed, and now he's going to come with me to the State of the Union address. It's going to be awesome, but it's so sad that he lost his 21-year-old daughter to an illegal drunk driver and was never prosecuted until President Trump got elected, and President Trump signed the law, and now the guy's going to spend 20 years in jail. He was sentenced last week to 20-some years in prison, which is awesome.
And
Lori,
Randy,
do you have a follow? Oh,
share the
I'm sorry,
buoyancy. That was what, 10 years afterwards?
10 years
10 years
absolutely. This is 10 years. Nothing ever got done until President Trump got involved.
Almost to the day she was killed.
Until the
he
day
was
she was
finally sentenced.
right. And then we found him, and he brought him back. Brought this illegal guy back. We found him. It was awesome. Found him, brought him back, got sentenced to 20-some years in prison. Finally, justice is served.
You have a question for Randy Feenstra, running for governor, congressman, 4th District, which is the conservative heartbeat of Iowa, running to replace him. Our good friend Chris got his cup right here. McGowan, right? So his cup. Don't forget that. Great guy, by the way.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a good
He's
guy.
a good veteran. His he has 3 kids at the academy right now. Again, true great Iowan and true great American.
Yeah, they're all in the Navy. 804-778-8888. 804-778-8888. Our handwritten number's down, so you can give us a call. We got a couple more minutes. Randy's being very gracious with his time right here, and we
Are you
appreciate
enjoying
that.
Iowa, being here?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
It's a great state,
You know
isn't
what?
it?
I tell you what. I live in Washington, D.C. Let me put a pitch in for my city. I live in the
we don't-
greatest,
no.
most beautiful, safest city in America.
Sarcasm, people.
No, it's not.
It's safe now. It's safe now.
The metamorphosis in my city
Yes.
in 9 months,
That's fair.
it is historic and epic.
Up till then, you could hardly go down to Navy Yard or wherever. I mean,
I
it was
couldn't.
scary.
My wife couldn't take the metro.
That's right.
You couldn't go out after 5 o'clock or dark for dinner.
Yep.
I live across the street from McPherson Park. It had under Biden, it had 71 tents. You would walk down the street and there would be rats all over the place, garbage. When you walked out of my place and you walked through the gate, if it was on a weekend, okay, you got high in, 90 seconds because the pot was just permeating the air. The thing was disgusting.
It was disgusting.
Carjackings, crime. They wouldn't prosecute any of the juveniles. I mean, the city was a freaking mess.
Yes.
You couldn't live there.
And now it's completely changed.
Now it's the safest,
I'd still
most
rather come to
beautiful city in
Iowa.
America.
I'd still rather be in Iowa, where land of the free, home of the brave, and you can. You don't even have to lock your doors at night. You don't have to worry about your car being stolen. You can enjoy the fresh air here without all that pollution. So, I tell you what, this is a great place to live and grow and raise a family.
I still live, if you compare Washington, D.C. to Des Moines, which is now another crap hole run by the Democrats. I live in the safest, most beautiful city in America. Thank you, President Trump, for doing that.
Yes.
So my wife rides the metro, the bus.
Yep.
I can't remember the last time I took the car to the garage. So, but the reason I came here is because I'm White House correspondent, so I cover the White House. The problem in being in D.C. in the bubble.
Yes.
And you know how it
it's
is.
a bubble, right?
That's why you got to get here.
You got to get out.
You get the same
You can-
stuff.
right? And now you can really hear what's happening in rural
My wife
America.
is like, you got to get that bus out.
Yeah.
We're in D.C. You're in the White House every day. You got to get out and hear what real people are saying, and that was the purpose of this.
And I want to just tell
and
you,
I learned a lot.
Right. I thank Tamara Scott. I thank our chairman Kaufman. We're first in the nation caucuses. And why is that? Because we are really the pulse of America. In rural America, Iowa is the pulse. And we got it. We get it right every time. And that's why it's so great that we are first in the nation caucuses, that we can pick the next president.
So
And,
I have to say, we get it right in the way we run the caucus, but we don't pick the president, and we don't always get the vote right. But we vet them all. We don't
That's
always
right.
pick the candidate. We vet them
We
all.
vet 'em all,
We
right.
vet
This
them all.
time,
yes.
I believe, another reason I came here, I believe that the winner of the Iowa caucus is going to go on to be, one, the next president of the United States, and two, is going to carry the mantle for MAGA.
Well, I want to see
Your
poll.
winner, this winner, is going to dwarf New Hampshire, because this is it. That's why we have this poll. You want to go to our virtual poll, just go to my website, johnfredericksradio.com. The poll is there. You can vote in it. And that is our virtual first in the nation Iowa straw poll. We got 11 candidates. You can rank them in order. Some of the results we're getting right now are very shocking. I'm not going to tease it out, but you want to definitely go to that poll. And I'm going to send it to Randy and his staff, and you guys are getting it out, because you got to vote in this poll. Okay, we got another caller. Let's get to Colleen in Worth County, Iowa. Line one. Colleen, you're on with Randy Feenstra.
I wanted to go back to the idea of the H1 or sort of the visas,
H2A,
and
H2A. Yeah.
Right.
and the thought that these are seasonal workers. First of all, I don't agree with that visa program. We're losing jobs not just to farm workers, but for engineers and other people that we should be filling them with American workers. But I have an instance where I knew of a guy in Idaho who went to Mexico, and he talked some young college kids into coming up and working on his dairy farm. And what he did is, after they got their visas and got up there, he made them work like 24/7. It was not quality assurance jobs. It was basically, if you don't work the long hours, the low wages, we're just going to turn you over and say that you don't really have a valid visa, and we're going to throw you out. And so he was virtually using these people as slave labor. And the other thing is, maybe some states have farmers that work seasonal, and there are some in Idaho also where they come up and they're used for the irrigation season, when they have to move the pipe and move the irrigation equipment. And then they go home to Mexico, and they are great laborers, wonderful guys. I know a lot of them. But here in Iowa, we have like egg factories and hog facilities. They work all year round. And if we don't have those jobs open for young people to work, there's a reason we're losing our kids to other states and going out of state. People need to have young job experience to save for college, to get ready and put money aside, and to have a reason to stay in Iowa. So I just don't like the idea of these visas, and I'd like Randy to, expand upon that.
Thank you, Colleen. Randy?
Yeah, Colleen, thanks for your comments. You're exactly right. First of all, I want to applaud President Trump. I mean, he shut down the border, so we don't have any more people coming in, right? That is phenomenal. That to me, and what you said, you're exactly right, is we want to make sure, and I want to make sure when I'm governor, is that when our kids graduate from high school, that they have a skill and a job waiting for them, a quality, good job, right? That's how we keep these people here. That's how we keep my kids here. That's how I want your kids to stay here, right? H21 and H21A and H21B visas. We got to continue to work with that program. Now they can be here up to 2 years for those programs. But you're right. We first got to start with America first, making sure that America fills the jobs that are needed. But if there's certain jobs that we can't find the people, then we can go down these paths. But President Trump has set it up. He's set it up right. He's sending everybody home that are illegal. And now we can look at so many other things, these new jobs of robots and GoBots and new manufacturing, the new way of doing things. These kids got to have that skill and that ability to do it. They're great paying jobs, and that's what we got to teach here. And that's why education, economics, keeping our kids here all go together in my vision to make sure this state is taken to new heights.
Okay, we got 2 minutes. Final call. Deborah in Johnston, Iowa, line 3 for Randy. Deborah, go. We got 2 minutes.
Okay. Congressman Feenstra, thank you for being on. I have a question for you. In last year, Governor Reynolds vetoed H.F. 639, which was the bill that both the Iowa House and the Iowa Senate passed on eminent domain, which protected private property rights.
Yep.
Would you have vetoed that as well?
I tell you what, the difference between me and her, I would have worked with the legislature and got something done. And that's what has to happen. I would have called special session. We can't let this fester and fester and fester. That's what happened. That's what's happened for the last 3 years. All right, we got to get to a solution. We got to get it done. And for me, it's all about protecting property rights and making sure we don't use eminent domain. That's what's got to happen. That's what's got to get done in our great state.
Okay, we're out of time. I want to thank, good call, Deb in Johnson. I want to thank our callers. I want to thank Congressman Randy Feenstra for being with us. Randy, you're running for governor, so you got a campaign going. People want to follow you. Where do they go?
They go to Feenstra.governor. Or Randy Feenstra. RandyFeenstra.com. Sorry.
Is that an FOR or
yeah,
four?
Randy.Feenstra, Feenstra. For Randy Feenstra for governor.com.
Randy Feenstra for governor.com. It's a tongue twister, but that's where you got to go. I want to thank Randy and his team for being with us. I also want to thank our Republican National Committee woman, Tamara Scott, for being with us and bringing us Iowa's finest breakfast pizza. And Joe Mitchell, no pizza for you. It's good to have everybody with us today. Coming up next, Michael Patrick Leahy. That wraps our 5 days in Iowa. We learned a lot. We're going to be back soon. Don't forget to go to our poll. Got to go to our poll. It's so easy. Just go to johnfredericksradio.com. Vote for your president, because Iowa is going to determine where America goes in the future. Have a great week. I'm on my way to Wilmington, North Carolina. Opening day, University, Maryland, Terps, Fear the Turtle. We'll see you Monday, babes.